Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me today on this valuable webinar on natural treatments for acne according to Ayurveda. So, first, let's look at the different causes of acne, and then we'll look at the different types of acne. Then we'll talk about dietary guidelines. We'll talk about acne from the perspective of Ayurveda, of course, because the different types are related to Ayurveda. And then we'll talk about home remedies, some facial paste, some soap, and toners we could use, and then, of course, herbal remedies. So let's start with causes, because causes is the most important aspect of any treatment. The first treatment, of course, is always to remove the cause. So to remove the cause, you have to, identify the cause. So there's many causes, and that's what makes acne, like headaches, very tricky. Headache can be 20, 30 different causes, and acne can also be various causes. So one, it can just be stress. Stress and anxiety can create more acne. And we're not going to cover that specifically in this webinar, but it is something to keep in mind, particularly if you notice that during stressful periods you have more acne. And then, of course, hormonal imbalances. It happens for both men and women, boys when they reach puberty, and women also due to hormonal changes. So if a woman is prior to her menstruation or during menstruation is seeing more acne, and it goes away in the later part of the month, the cycle during ovulation, then you can conclude that it's a hormonal imbalance, and then we'd have to treat the hormonal system, which we're going to cover briefly. Of course, another and most common cause is toxicity, liver toxicity. This generally comes from chemicals, chemicals in the air, chemicals in our food, pesticides and other toxins that are in our food that become in our liver, and then they're not removed from the liver. Like heavy metals are very difficult to be removed from the liver, and these toxins can circulate in the bloodstream and not be removed in a timely manner. And this can create all types of skin conditions, not just acne, rashes, hives, and psoriasis and eczema can result from liver toxicity, coming mostly from chemicals. And of course, excess sunlight can cause skin problems and inflammation of the skin and red type of acne. Bad fats, particularly saturated fats and trans fats in particular, that's present in all fast foods. So we could say fast food is a very common cause of acne. Another possible cause is bacterial infections. And bacterial infections are a little different. It's not really acne, but it can look like acne, but they move around and more itchy and move from different parts of the body, and can be in sweaty areas like the armpits or the joints where that's sweaty. So bacterial infections can be one of the causes. And of course, a lot of medications can cause acne because they're basically toxic from the liver point of view. And of course, a pitta increasing diet. In Ayurveda, there's Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, three energetics that manage all life forms, including humans. So we're a balance of Vata, Pitta, Kapha. And Pitta is representing the fire element. It's sharp, hot, slightly oily. And so in Ayurveda, there's a Pitta element behind acne. So a Pitta increasing diet or aggravating diet, which would include spicy foods, hot foods, and even alcohol, can also be one of the causes. So it's very important to identify which type of cause you have. Another cause is, of course, constipation. Constipation, which is basically not having a couple bowel movements a day. Definitely if you're skipping days or going for days without bowel movement, then you can see your skin gets worse. not just acne, but you can get rashes, hives, acne, different types of pimples. And when the colon is clean, it can go away. So, constipation is a very common cause. So it's liver toxicity, constipation, pitta increasing or aggravating diet can be a cause, and hormones also can be a cause. So these are the ones that we're going to address today, these different causes. But that's really your first step, is to identify what the cause is. And it's not to say you don't have more than one cause. You could be eating fast food and having hormonal changes. So like in the case of a teenager. So they could have two causes. Another person could be going through hormonal changes with a lot of stress, or a person could be on a particular medicine, or be drinking alcohol or spicy food. So it could be a few combinations to cause your pimples. Now, next we want to classify the different types of acne, pimples, and of course in Ayurveda we have Vata Pitta Kapha. So the first type is Vata Imbalance, and Vata type of acne is dry and more blackheads, not white or pussy and not too red, but dry and very stubborn, and blackheads. But the skin tends to be dry and itchy, and the person tends to have dry skin. That's a Vata type of acne. So each of these three types has to be treated entirely different. So not only do you need to identify the causes, but you also need to then identify the type. So the first type is dry acne, we could say. Second is Kapha type, which is going to be oily and have more whiteheads and a P.A.C.E even, and itchy, but not in a dry itchy sense, but in an oily itchy sense. And of course, if you have acne and you have pus and you scratch it, then this pus can get in your fingernails, and this can further spread the acne. So obviously scratching it is not a good idea. The third type is Pitta type of acne, and this tends to be more red and burning. And when you feel it, your face can feel hot or red where it's at, and it's very red, very hot, and the sun makes it worse. Well, Vata type, dryness, lack of fat in the diet, lack of oil in the diet can make it worse. Well, Kapha type, oily foods, fast foods, fried foods make it worse. Well, Pitta type, spicy foods, hot foods, vinegar, citrus, and alcohol will all make it worse. So you have to identify the causes, then break it down into one of these three types, and then we can go treat it with different herbal remedies, which we're going to get to. But there are some general dietary guidelines, and that is, of course, no fried foods, no fast foods, no foods with trans fats, cheap oils. You want to have a high quality oil like a sunflower oil or olive oil or avocado oil in your food, or ghee. And don't avoid a lot of spicy foods, hot foods, not ginger and cumin so much, but like chili pepper, cayenne pepper, and not too much fermented foods. I've seen many people who have acne due to excess fermented foods, because fermented foods are quite popular and they are very helpful in replenishing our intestinal bacteria, but in excess they can create heat and ultimately even skin problems such as acne. So you generally want to avoid too much fermented foods, spicy foods, and too much sour foods like vinegar and citrus. Then there are home remedies, but these home remedies, of course, depend largely on the type of acne that you have. One formula that I like to make for people is I mix sandalwood with maybe 70% sandalwood, 20% turmeric, and just 5 or 10% neem fighting the infection. Sandalwood is bringing down the heat and the aggravation of the skin, and turmeric also is helping with this infection. So if it's a person who's Pitta, then I say you take this sandalwood, neem, turmeric powder and mix it with aloe vera and put it on the face as a pack. If you're Vata and you have more dry acne, then mix it with milk and put it on your face. And if you're Kapha, mix it with water and put some honey in it. And in fact, for kapha type in particular, just little dabs of honey on the acne can be quite effective. And you should get a very good soap and a very good toner. You want a soap that has neem and aloe in it. This is one that has neem and aloe soap. So aloe is very healing, helps to heal the wounds, and neem helps fight bacterial infection. And then have a nice toner, afterwards to tighten up the skin. And this one is rose petal with aloe. Of course, toners are generally made with an astringent formula herb such as witch hazel. This is a very old company that's been making toners for over 100 years. So washing with a very good soap. If the skin's very dry, you can even do a more moist soap like a goat milk soap. And I have some other types of soaps for different types of skin conditions, whether it's dry or whether it's oily. But this is, they should all have a little neem in it. This is what's very important for acne, is getting a soap with a little neem. Other colon cleanse, other home remedy that really needs to be done if you're even slightly constipated is cleaning out the colon. We have, of course, many formulas for cleaning out your colon, but simple way is just taking, a tea with carminative herbs in it and laxative herbs that just flush the colon out. It's better, of course, to have this colon formula chosen for you, but I picked that formula because it's for general use. Now, and also you should treat the liver, and we would classify liver treatment in two categories. Somebody who's dry and thin and doesn't have much oily skin, then we would give them a liver treatment in ghee, and here we call liver ghee. This is called Trikta Gritta in Ayurveda, and it's used for almost all skin conditions. It's gently detoxifying the liver, and you can see it has neem and kupti in it as well. And then if a person is more kapha, or they're not too dry, then we can have other liver formulas in powder form. And cleaning the liver always improves your skin. So just getting the bowels moving, taking a liver herb, which generally liver herbs are taken before the meal, not after the meal, then you can see improvements in your skin even if you don't have acne. And here's aloe vera. I would have to say aloe vera is a wonderful home remedy for acne and all skin problems. One, like I said, you can mix it with sandalwood, turmeric, and a little neem and make it into a paste and let it dry in aloe, particularly if you have a hot, burning red acne. Or you can just be drinking the acne and mix it with even a cooling fruit juice like coconut water. Now, we have different formulas here for different types of acne. Sometimes, it's very itchy and it's a fungal infection, and we think it's an allergy to something, so we would give this one skin allergy formula if it was really like, if I was sure that it was an allergy. So we can see that formula there. There we go. See, more for itchy, rashes, fungal infections, that's what that's used for mostly. Now, the two main categories we have in formulas is one formula, if it's a hot and red type of pimples, then we'd use this formula here, particularly if the person is hot and red. So there we go. See, again, for acne, itching, hot rash, heat rash, burning skin sensation. See, so this one is a cooling formula, and this would be taken after meals. And this is for somebody who's feeling hot, pitta prakriti or pitta vikriti, and the acne is very hot and red. So this is a very cooling formula. It also has a sandalwood in it, shatavari, kumari, which is aloe, and then there's of course neem, and there's also other herbs like Godanti basma, which is very cool. And the main herb that all these formulas have, in Western formulas have, is mangista. And there's mangista. It's a red herb. So we have organic mangista there. So all of these formulas are using Mangista. Mangista is the premier herb for your skin. So it's really the first ingredient in that formula is Mangista. And the other formula, if the person is not too hot, then we would use this formula here. And this is also for acne. Let's see if we get to focus there. Yeah, for skin conditions. There we go. Acne, itching, rashes, most skin conditions. But this one, see, it says VK. So that means it's going to be more warming. It's going to be a more warming formula and not suitable for the other types. So those are the two main types. So if we look at, besides dietary guidelines, the two main ones I would give people would be one of these two, the cooling one or the not so cooling one. And then before the meals, I generally will pick one liver formula. I have 2 or 3 different liver formulas, or the liver ghee. And then if there were hormonal issues for a woman, then I would suggest you do the PMST, which will help balance the hormones with the phytoestrogens in there. And we have other formulas as well to help a woman balance her hormones. So those may have to be included on top of the other herbs. And then generally I'll give a tea as well. There's a few, if they're constipated, like I said, something at night to get the bowels moving, or just the constipation tea. But most people who have skin conditions, I tend to give them this tea as well, blood detox tea. And this is good for all skin conditions. And it has sarsaparilla root in it, of course, dandelion, burdock, Oregon grape, and licorice. So dandelion and burdock are well known to clean the liver and detox the blood. And then they have sarsaparilla. So this is sarsaparilla root that I got in Jamaica. Of course, it's not the sarsaparilla root that we use in this package, but it's a nice example. I need to use it myself. We also have a few other little products. This is a great product in India, Kumkum Adi. I was just introduced to this product in India, so I bought 20 of them or so and brought them back, and everybody raved about it, as they did in India. All the women are using this on their acne. So I guess it's the easy way. Just put some Kumkum Adi on it, because it seems to work great. So I don't know if you can find it on eBay or Amazon, but I highly recommend it. And if it's a bacterial infection, then we'll have another little one here for bacteria. You can see the picture of the woman itching there. So this is more for bacterial dermatitis. But the Kumkum Adi works very good. So I mean, that type of combination, what you want is a holistic approach. You don't want to just put on one topical item. You want to identify the causes, and if it's hormonal, you want to treat the hormones. And if you know it's due to outstanding or long-lasting constipation, then you really want to be taking colon herbs. And if you feel there's liver toxicity, and there's liver toxicity because there's usually like chemical sensitivity, like smells, cigarette smoke, all of this is bothering you, and you become very sensitive to it. And maybe when you go to a big city or something with pollution, your acne gets worse, or you react very easy to smells and perfumes, then we know you have a type of liver toxicity. So then you want to really focus on the liver. And then of course it's good to have good products and not be using low quality soaps, shampoos, and other substances, which could be a problem. You want to always use high quality organic products and only be eating organic food. So if you make these type of changes where you change your diet, avoid the fried foods, the fast foods, trans fats, spicy foods, alcohol, sour foods, and fermented foods, plus did the colon herbs, plus the liver herbs, plus my skin formula, and put Kumkum Adi on it, you're going to get results. And that's why, and that's how, I should say, I treat people who come to me with acne. But every client gets a slightly different package. I mean, some people may have their bowels may be moving fine, so I don't worry about that. Some people may be very young, so I'm not too worried about their liver. Well, other people I'm more concerned, and I see that hormones are a big issue. Other people I see that the diet is the big issue. Well, other people I can review the diet and see the diet isn't a big issue. So should always it should be different for every person. And of course, we have these three main types of acne and skin issues in Ayurveda: the Vata, dry type; the Kapha, oily type; and the Pitta, hot, burning type. So once it's classified as one of these two types and you know the cause, then the treatment becomes very clear. If you're unable to identify the causes and you're not classifying by type, then of course your success rate as a practitioner will be much lower. But when you follow this type of systematic diagnosis method of Ayurveda, identifying the causes, classifying the types, addressing the causes with herbal remedies or changes to the diet, and some home remedies like I covered here, then the success rate is very, very high. And that, of course, is what's necessary if you're going to do this job, helping people professionally. You have to have a very high success rate. So that's why I do a very holistic approach, because I want my client to come back and be happy that their skin has cleared. And of course, I'm addressing much more serious conditions, different types of psoriasis and eczema and other types of dermatitis. But in Ayurveda, we don't classify things in these medical terms. We still will address the skin condition just like I told you here, breaking it down on different types and identifying different causes. Not so much. And autoimmunity could be an issue, like in psoriasis. The immune system could be an issue. And in that case, if there's an allergic response, then we know that there's an allergy. Then we have skin allergy. So that's a very important point, to make sure that you're not dealing with an allergy or a hormonal issue before you start your treatment. So I hope that helped you understand that acne is very treatable and not difficult, and results come quite quickly if the diagnosis and treatment are correct. So I hope that helped you, and I hope that helps you to motivate you to improve your skin, keep your skin healthy, and of course avoid trans fats and poor quality fat in your diet. This goes a long way. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.